man, an S-rank ability user who steals attributes from others, must exploit his opponent's weaknesses to transfer those attributes to himself. Duanfei, after using this method to kill a native zombie, not only received a reward of 20,000 evolution points but also acquired all the energy the zombie had absorbed in its lifetime. Using the ant evolution tree as a medium, Duanfei absorbed all of it, evolving to C-rank in one fell swoop. However, just as he was celebrating this, his telekinesis and shadow strike within his ability contract suddenly issued a warning. Could it be that Xiaku and Li Feng are in mortal danger? It turns out that after the launch of humanity's plan to annihilate the zombie nest, the repeated victories made humanity invincible. The commanders became arrogant, and a zombie traitor infiltrated the command headquarters. With the instigation of the thousand-faced illusion, humanity decided to use all its remaining forces, dividing into 3 groups to wipe out all the zombies, unaware that this was a huge conspiracy orchestrated by the zombies from within. And so, tens of thousands of humans were lured into 3 altars, and without exception, they all became souls in the hands of the native species. In this apocalyptic zombie age, one who couldn't kill 1,000 humans on the battlefield was unworthy of being called a native species. After tens of thousands of humans died, their life essence was all condensed into this crimson dragon orb. The zombie leader sighed, thanks to Thousand Faces Illusion's plan, the energy needed for Sugar's resurrection is almost enough. However, Xiaku and Li Feng's team were currently being utterly defeated by the Banshee of Disaster. Watching his teammates die instantly due to their arrogance and complacency, he was filled with despair and desolation. The opponent was clearly just one zombie. Little did Xiaku know that standing before him was one of the 6 leaders of the zombies. The original Xiaku was then chained by the Banshee of Disaster, and then Li Feng. Finally, the remaining surviving humans were dragged away. Covered in wounds, Xiaku was powerless to resist. But then the Banshee sensed the reindeer's presence. This guy had finally decided to return, but why was there also a thorny scent? The Banshee broke out in a cold sweat. Was it that kid named Duanfei? A violent explosion of flames erupted in front of the zombie horde, accompanied by the howl of a giant husky, and a dark shadow, thickened by smoke, gradually emerged. Disaster, long time no see. How could this guy absorb the reindeer? Are you all right after class? Duanfei said, removing the chain from her neck. After I deal with them, you can tell me what happened. Anya also came to help. Li Feng reminded him, Duanfei has a special move that can break Shadow Strike. I just suffered a setback because of it. Duanfei, however, dismissed it, calling him a defeated opponent. But then, 2 zombies suddenly lunged at Duanfei. In the blink of an eye, the 2 separated instantly, and the one who killed both gained 1,200 evolution points. However, Duanfei noticed Disaster's disguise. Disaster chuckled, I just went to experience your human life. You humans are so pitiful, tens of thousands crammed into a dirty, cramped place for warmth. They say if we peel back Disaster's disguise, this world will soon be taken over by us, the natural disasters. But then, Disaster's pupils narrowed and saw Anya behind her. How come the key to the unsealed king is here? However, Duanfei had already returned to base. The next instant, hundreds of zombies surrounded Disaster. Duanfei immediately activated his S-class ability, devouring hundreds of zombies. The zombies had no chance to resist and were all reduced to fragments, dying in the black hole. Then Duanfei turned his attention to the Banshee Disaster. He immediately controlled a zombie to act as a human shield, but it was instantly pulverized by Duanfei's attack. Your turn, Disaster. At this moment, Disaster calmly warned, watch out behind you. A gigantic, petrified zombie's fist was poised to strike. Duanfei immediately gathered fiery energy in his left fist, but the moment his fists met, the zombie's arm was blasted to pieces. The Disaster behind him began to applaud. As expected of someone who has absorbed so much power, your strength has indeed increased. But it's not just you who's become stronger. Since you severely injured me last time, I've been seeking revenge. I've completed this masterpiece of zombie fusion. It can absorb the remaining energy around it, preparing for a swift death. Just as Duan Fei activated Shadow Strike, a strange energy suddenly locked onto him, rendering Shadow Strike ineffective. Li Feng, whose non-contractual ability had been broken, reminded him, "The restraining barrier I just mentioned, is it? Disaster." He coldly snorted, "You can stay in this arena and play with my pet." At this moment, Disaster received a call from its commander. "How's the relationship? Need support?" "No, I'm going to torture this human to death. By the way, my guests have arrived at your place, so we need to hurry." The commander, a phantom of the Yellow River, was leading humanity's last forces to the native species lair. "Is this the zombies' lair?" Luo Yang warned. "Don't be careless, stay vigilant." The commander's voice was hoarse, his eyes gleaming, but the phantom commander only feigned nonchalance. "Of course, we're here to deal with you, the source of all evil." The native husky beside him was speechless. Was the phantom guy really into acting? Meanwhile, on the other side of the disaster, Duan Fei suddenly circled behind the fused zombie, his fist, imbued with the power of devouring, slamming into the energy crystal within the zombie's body. "Congratulations on killing a sea-level zombie, gaining 800 evolution points." Disaster covered his skin in goosebumps. How could he possibly trap it so easily by increasing the energy barrier's output? The next second, a blazing ray of fire shattered the zombie's skull. "You don't actually think this trash barrier can trap me, do you?" 8th Section Fei didn't choose to instantly kill his opponent. He was sorting out his thoughts. Just as the disaster was preparing to use his powers to escape again, he instructed his sister to take care of the injured and asked Li Feng to quickly return to defend and notify Commander Luo. Duan Fei, on the other hand, used Shadow Strike to pursue the disaster with all his might. But for some reason, he had a bad feeling.